Hey to my awesome women over 40, close to 50, like me. Y'all know I'm on a mission to help y'all get and stay married. So I thought I would do this video. It's kind of the afterglow. I do my morning daily dose of inspiration call for the Happy Wife Project. This is a live YouTube call, and it's really just a daily dose of inspiration for married women getting and staying married. Getting married is kind of easy. Staying married requires work, but no one tells us what type of work it requires. Like it just requires work. So it's like sending somebody on a job and not telling them what to do. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I have kind of cracked the code, figured out what to do. This is what needs to be done. And so that's what I'm basically sharing every day. The purpose of marriage, which is to make you the best version of yourself, the pray before you say. People say be emotionally mature in marriage, the power in doing the work and just making it practical every day. So you actually see some some skincare products. Our practical side today was talking about the work it requires. I'm like, these are things that I do. I love my skin. It's kind of like my hobby, my body, my hobby. My hair has been my hobby for a long time. And I was saying, don't work more on all of these things and not work on the marriage. So we talked about a few books. Let me bring some of the things around and the work that it requires, right? So just that's the practical side. So I decided to do this video because I created a video the other day called I said, since you don't have the luxury of being lazy, and you can only say so much in 60 seconds, right? And one of the comments that I received that I really appreciate was like, hey, Montina, you seem to have all this free time. Are you retired? Because, Chanel, I see you there. Chevelle, I think it is, not Chanel, Chevelle. But it was a really good comment because she said, you know, it seems like, let me see if here, because I responded, that I have a lot of time on my hands. And so I want to talk about why I created that video because it was a very clear reason why I created it. I was out to breakfast, and the gentleman that I met when I was there, it was a gentleman. And yes, he was talking to me. I went to the restroom, came back out. So I went to Pilates. Let me kind of put this together. I went to Pilates in that morning. This was on a Saturday morning. So I went to two classes and I decided I'm going to go ahead and eat breakfast because I knew I was going to a step class. And if I waited until after step, I wouldn't be eating till like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And I just noticed I'm sluggish, right? So I went and got me some chicken and waffles. I ate the little three wings and half the waffle. And so I noticed the man on my peripheral. He was looking, checking me out because I sit at the bar. So I went to the bathroom to wash my hands, waiting on my check. And came back. He's like, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. How you doing?" I talk to men. You talk to me, I'm gonna talk back. So he was like, "Well, you look like you worked out or something." I said, "Yeah, I went to Pilates and now I'm had some breakfast. I'm going to my Chicago step. I'm going to my step class." He's like, "Step class?" I said, "Yeah, Chicago step." So we're engaged in a conversation, friendly. And then he was like, "Well, do you have a partner?" I said, "Yeah, just like you do with that ring on your finger, right? I don't play with men. I'm happily married." But he was like, "Well, I'm getting ready to go through a divorce." I said, "Oh," I said, "Really?" And I did. I said, "Well," I said, "You better let her know that she need to stay because it ain't nothing out here." He said, "I've been trying to tell her." He said, "I'm a truck driver." He just wanted to talk. And he said, "There's some things she's responsible for. I pay the majority of the bills." This is what he's telling me, y'all. But her friend told her husband pay all the bills. And I said, "Well, that's her husband." He's like, "That's what I told her too." I'm telling you, he's agreeing with me. And I said, "Listen, there's nothing out here for her." And I said, "It's really gonna be more options for you than it is gonna be for her." He said, "I told her that too." This is how he talking. He said, "But I hired an investigator and she's seeing somebody else, some guy from prison, and she has 3 kids before I married her, and we have a 9-year-old." And I said, "Well," I said, I'm sorry, I really don't know what to tell you." I said, "But if you want to go Chicago stepping, I can tell you about some of the sets if you're interested in learning how to step." And that's where I kind of left it. And it made me realize when I left there, it was a little more to the conversation that, well, this is what else I told him. I said, "Well, let her know if she's not fit, feminine, friendly, fun, interesting, nice, exciting, energetic, sexy, sassy, charming." He was shaking his head. He's like, She's not at all." I said, "It's really going to be difficult out here for her." "How old is she?" He said, 42. I said, "How old are you?" He said, 56. My husband's 56. I'm 47 this month when you're watching this video. I said, "She needs to stay." I said, "I hope y'all work it out." And that was it. And that's what made me think when I walked away from that conversation. And then I was on my way into my Chicago step class when I said, you don't have the luxury of being lazy as a woman, as a married woman. If you're single and you just desire no husband, fine. But if you're watching my videos, you probably are like, I don't want to be single. There are plenty of men out here, but it requires work, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual work. You show up differently in the world when you do the work. Now, number one is physical. Men are visual. I mean, come on, we know this. You got to work on your physical, sis. I get it as we get older, it's more difficult. I get it. Okay. Much as I work out, I'm like, I should be a size two. And I'm not. But it requires work, okay? My hair requires work, okay? Because I wear my hair natural, but I'm a straight natural now. It requires a lot. It requires less work, thank God. But it still requires work and the products I put into it, the type of brushes I use. I'm going when I work out, how I have to have a style just to work out because of the sweat. Even right now, I have a hat on, but I have a sweat thing on right here. My hair is pulled back in here, and I'm getting ready to go to cycle class, so that's going to change up the game completely because I know I'm going to sweat, so I got to put on an extra sweatband. Okay, so there's things that I have to do, but I prioritize my self-care. Your mental, even getting into a marriage, it requires work. You better be happy before marriage, because if you're not happy before marriage, you're going to be miserable in a marriage. You're spiritual. I had to start going back to church because I was going through some things in my marriage, and I was like, this isn't normal. And my spiritual muscle just had atrophied a little bit because I know the word, got a long, strong foundation. But I was like, yeah, it could be lax. My spiritual muscle had to be built back up. So I need to stay in church for me. I'm not a member, but I needed to attend and go and just fellowship. And then the emotional side of it, a lot of you need therapy. I'm in therapy. I have a life coach. I go to a marriage counselor because there's some things from an inner child standpoint, and there's just some things from past relationships you've had to deal with, some foolishness, or maybe you had men in the past that you had to be more in your masculine with, and now you're in a relationship where you can be more in your feminine, or you desire a relationship to be more in your feminine. That requires a different set of rules, is what I'll say, because you show up differently. And I had to let go of a lot of expectations from myself and my husband and understand that marriage is not performative. My husband loves to take care of me. I mean, my husband does majority of everything because he enjoys it. Now, I would do more for him if he'd allow me, but he likes to take care of me. Like, he sees it as his purpose. So that's what I meant when I said you don't have the luxury of being lazy. You don't have the luxury of not going to the gym. Some of y'all, I don't even understand how you just feel like you don't have to work out. Like, you know, that's just, I don't know. It's just not something I can comprehend because I've worked out my whole life, or I've done things to kind of maintain my shape. Now, I have gained some weight if you look back to my older Spark Wisdom videos. But around like a 10, teetering into 12, it doesn't fit my body type because I'm more of a straight up and down. I don't have a real pronounced waist. So right around an 8, 10 is curvy for me, and it works. But again, some of y'all just let it go, and you're, in the 20s, the high teens, and you just know that you need to put in some work. Just put in the work. And some of you have thyroid issues. I get it. But some of it, like, you don't even want to put in the work to get your hair done. You don't even want to put in the work to not, you got alopecia and stuff because you're just not willing to put in the work for your skin, for your body. Put in the work, sis. The other thing is, some of you are so hyper independent because you're around hyper independent women. I don't hang around hyper independent women. I could do it by myself. I don't need no man. I don't have anyone in my circle that speaks that way. You're so overwhelmed with life. Some of you, again, from a performative, your kids got you just doing too much. Well, my son, he's 20 now in the military. When he was 15, I bought a car because I said, by the time you turn 16, I need you to drive. I need you to take yourself to practice. I need you to do this, 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 this. Now, yes, that's a luxury. I am speaking from a point of privilege. I get that. But some of y'all, your kids got you running ragged. And some of the older ones can help with the younger ones. Like, you still have to prioritize yourself. You're doing too much in your marriage. You're doing too much for your husband. He is not a baby. And he's not your baby. He's your husband. He's not your son. You're treating him like a mother would. You're mothering him. And there's a difference between being a mother and being married. Understand the difference. You're not his mother. Your self-care needs to be your priority. Some of y'all know self-maintenance, your nails and stuff done. but you don't understand self-care feeds your soul, spiritual, emotional, physical, mental. It feeds your soul. When I go to talk to my hairdresser, oh my God, it feeds my soul. I had to turn a little fan I have here when I go Chicago stepping. I take my little fan. Prioritize your rest. This weekend, I just was tired. My husband was going out with some college friends. I was home and I just rested. I said, I'm not going anywhere. And I slept, I read, I walked around the house just with my robe and stuff on and just enjoyed the home. And I texted him and said, honey, I'm staying home. I just want to enjoy our house this weekend. He said, okay. Okay. So again, prioritize your rest. I used to be the type of person I had to do. And sometimes still I'm like, I enjoy doing things, but there's a time to slow down and rest. Understand, really, again, when I say you don't have the luxury to be lazy, you don't have the luxury of being lazy at all in life. Just like, just lazy. You're lazy with your speech. You're lazy with you don't read anything, even a magazine. I have like a magazine here. Just kind of like the little magazines. I got a thesaurus here. I want to increase the way my speech is. I'm going to be more well spoken. I'm going into politics. You're just not doing anything, sis. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have the luxury of being lazy in life. You want to be an interesting woman. You want to have fun and be challenging. In terms of challenging, mean challenge yourself. Set goals for yourself. If you want to do a 5K, if you want to do a pageant, some of y'all just have no goals, no fun. You just go to work and go home, and then you're like, I don't meet any men because you don't go anywhere. Okay? So you get what you qualify for. The other thing with you don't have the luxury of being lazy. I'm hearing some older women talk about how men have done it. And I mean older, like 60s, 70s. On the internet, they got these YouTube channels. And one lady was talking about she was married for 16 years. And she stated all the things her husband at that time, I guess they divorced, didn't do. I think it was her second husband. She paid all the bills. She did all the things for birthdays. He never did this. And I just looked at her. And in my mind, I thought, you kind of got the man you qualified for. The type of husband I have now is not what I qualified for in my 20s. Maybe in my 30s, if my self-confidence would have been a little higher. And I don't know, like I was raising my kids and they were kind of challenging. They weren't the most pleasant in the house to my ex-husband. Now my husband I have now, there's certain things he wouldn't have put up with, but it would have been very contentious in our home. So again, what type of man do you qualify for? A man that's a provider, protector, producer based on who you are? And I'm not talking about all physical. Some of y'all are so contentious. You argue too much. You talk too much. You argue. You're argumentative. I'm a whole lot of woman. Don't no man want to deal with a whole lot of woman. You talk too much. You're not even kind and pleasant to other women. You have a lot of inner work to do. I'm just telling y'all the truth. This purple pill, blue pill, black pill, red pill, these men are not putting up with that in their 40s and 50s. They don't want women that are a whole lot to put up with. Maybe in your 20s. And they talk about that in a book I read called The Way of the Superior Man. It's the temperature of a woman. When you're young, men want that fiery woman, but as they temper and get older, they want more of a soft-natured, polite, pleasant, peaceful woman. I'm telling you, I've shifted so much with me as I'm getting older. I'm like, there's less I can tolerate my doggone self. I want my husband being all crazy up in the house. He don't want me crazy up in the house because I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm really, really opinionated. Like that's now maybe if you're in your 20s, that might work. But as you get older, don't nobody want to put up with all that. It's enough we're putting up with in this crazy world. Going to the grocery store. So that's what I meant when I said, sis, you don't have the luxury of being lazy. Yes, that works. Let me actually look at here. She said, are you retired? You offer a lot of great talking points, but it seems like you have a lot of free time. And she said the issue is most women have is they don't have free time between work and family. And that's the ultimate goal. You need to prioritize your time, sis. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym because it's important to me. But guess what? When my kids were younger, when you got little kids, you can work out at the gym, you can work out at home, but you need to prioritize your work for yourself. And I'm talking about your self-care, not self-maintenance, self-care. Okay, and it shows your husband that you appreciate him too because you're taking care of yourself. Ask for help from friends and family. Okay, don't be afraid. Them kids are teenagers. They can come sit at the gym if they can't stay home alone. Again, you all are performative in nature and life because we're taught to be that way. But there's a reason why your grandma knitted. There's a reason why your grandma was such a great baker. Okay, you have more time on your hands, but you spend it taking care of everyone else. You don't have to cook every day. Cook 3 days a week. I didn't cook on no weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't cook Friday, Saturday, Sunday now. Sundays, my husband normally cooks. I made oxtails this Sunday. I cook Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have hibachi. He eats it Thursday, Friday, and weekends. So I cook 3 days a week, but it works for us. So that's why I say I prioritize. I don't take on more work than I can handle. I'm an entrepreneur full time now, 10 years full time. I've been doing it 11 years, but 10 years full time. So that's what I count. And there's some work and some clients I just can't take because I just don't have the energy to do it. Okay, just don't have the energy to do it. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Join the Happy Wife Project. I'm sharing over there. I'm actually going to drop this video over there as well. And I'm here for you in the Happy Wife Project. And that's what it is. Happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house. You don't have to be in a miserable marriage. I've been in a miserable marriage. It's not fun. That's why people don't like marriage because, once it's miserable, you can't wait to get out. Oh my God. But when it's good, oh my God, I can't wait to see my husband. I can't wait to hug my husband. I can't wait to give him kisses when he gets home. It's great to have a healthy marriage where you can communicate, understand your season, your love languages, how to serve this person. You trust this person with your heart, and intimacy is, whew, okay, it's amazing. You can have that type of marriage in life. So with that said, y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Still got a little bit of a tickle in my throat, but I made it without coughing. Woo, 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 woo. So leave me a comment below or an emoji below and let me know if you're just leave me just that you were here. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.